Hello, guys. Welcome to Discusshane. And this podcast, we have a very special guest. We have arguably the greatest basketball player that, me and you have definitely ever seen and ever played with. You know, she's a legend in high school and definitely a legend in college. So let me list off some achievements that she's had. So she's a three-time CIF champ. She is she's been selected to the All-State first team. She's been selected to the All CIF first team twice, All League first team three times, and is the fifth leading scorer in Bishop Montgomery High School history. But not only that, like I mentioned, she's a legend in college. So at the Fresno Pacific University, she is top 10 in eight records in their women's basketball history. She is seventh in total points, sixth in points per game, seventh in total assists and assists per game. She is ninth in field goals made. She is 10th in free throws made, and she is seventh in free throw percentage. But not only that, she's probably not arguably, she is the greatest shooter in that school's history having with being number one in 3 pointers made. So we're dealing with one of the best here, people. But not only that, she's top 10 in games. She's not even top 10 in games played. So she completed all that. She achieved all that with not as many games as her alumni, as her predecessors. So, out of all the stats that I just listed off, what's the most surprising one that you had?
Um, I would say from this COVID year, obviously we didn't play a lot, but having the opportunity to being able to step on the hardwood floor was definitely a blessing. Um, I would say from this year, my shooting ability got so much better throughout my years of playing in college. Definitely was one of the top shooters um, in on my team this year. Shot 35% from the field goal, and like it takes a lot of repetition, and you really have to put in work behind the curtains because all of these people want to take your spot, but then it's really on you to put in that work and actually do it.
And I'm pretty sure like on our level, all of the guys, all of us. Remember, people. She's played basketball with guys, and she's dominated playing with guys, and even playing with us. We're not even close to her level, so it's crazy to hear that she is still trying to like compete and get better, even though she's pretty much like there's pretty much no one in her league right now. But let me read off something that's crazy. That's crazy. I doubt that you ever even knew this. So in your freshman year in Fresno, you had 10 blocks in your freshman year. Pretty sure you didn't know that. And
Yeah, I definitely did it.
we all know that Jess is not the tallest person. She's listed at 5'2", but who knows? She's probably 5 foot at least. But so the craziest thing that I saw is that we all know who Chris Paul is, right? Point guard for the Suns. So in both you guys' first 3 years, you've had more blocks than him in your first 3 years. So Chris Paul, he had 13 in his first 3 years in the NBA, and you had 15. I don't know. That's just crazy to me, you know? And so now that we all know that, you're one of the best players that, we've ever played with, like I mentioned earlier, I can safely say that I beat you once. You probably don't even remember because, there's so many times that you beat me and there's so many times you compete against so many better people, but I remember. So let me take you guys back when we were teenagers, probably like even younger, like middle school days. We both went to Stephen White. So we all know what the game of 21 is, right? Everyone knows what game of 21. If you don't know what it is, then you don't really play basketball. So we played 21, and this was in the driveway of our grandparents' house in Carson. And we would play basketball there. It would be me and you and Jeremy sometimes. But you would always beat me every single time, and you always beat Jeremy every single time, because I mean, Jeremy's like he's like whatever. We all know that Jeremy's whatever. If you've seen Jeremy, if you already know Jeremy, he's he's all right. He says he's good. He's all right. So you kept beating me, and I kept getting closer and closer to beating you. But I'm pretty sure you didn't even know that. But I remember one day I was trying so hard, and I'm pretty sure you weren't even sweating. I was trying so hard, and I beat you once. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. I remember
D-
that very vividly because I was so upset that you kept scoring on me and I had no answer for that and I just kind of let it be for the day.
Hey guys, you heard it here. I beat her, and I know a lot of you haven't. So with that being said, you play 21. So what is your favorite basketball, like I guess mini game? Because there's 21, there's knockout, there's sevens, horse, poison. So what is your favorite game?
I personally like playing 21 because I'm very competitive and like 21 is a game where you're able to make your opponent better and also yourself better too because when you play the game of 21 you know the person's strengths, you know the person's weaknesses. Other than that, like you know your own weaknesses, you know your own strengths too. Like you know what you're capable of doing and like you know what you're capable of like the other person doing too. But I personally like 21 because you're able to get competitive and the game of 21 itself is gets you heated. So, but
Yeah, because in 21 it's different from one-on-one, because one-on-one you're going to a specific score. Just like 21, but not only that, but it's pretty much like one versus five sometimes. And I feel like the game kind of puts you always at a disadvantage because you can lose your points just like that. But I think my favorite game as a kid was sevens, because I'm I fancy myself a shooter. I'm probably not your level, but I feel like I'm one of the better shooters. So, and I definitely don't have the handles or the one-on-one ability. So sevens is for me. You know.
yeah.
So we all know that all of us we played sports as a kid. Me, you, Jeremy, even my sister played sports. We all played sports, especially at the park. So how many sports have you actually played?
Um yeah, I played a lot of sports actually. I played soccer, softball, basketball. I even played volleyball, but I didn't take volleyball seriously like that. But I wasn't bad at volleyball. Yeah, I also played t-ball when I was little too. So I can say I was confidently active in the community I was in. And, obviously, like in the end, one sport is going to get you towards your dream. And I kind of just did the process of elimination and just kind of stuck with basketball. And yeah, I'm super excited that I'm able to take on um, my journey as a basketball player and all the obstacles and hardships that run with basketball. But yeah, I'm super excited that I chose the sport of basketball.
I mean, and you can't even forget you play what you call it? What's that one game? Uh Spike ball.
Oh yeah.
We all know you love spike ball.
Yeah.
So with that being said, and I'm pretty sure this is a dumb question, because I'm pretty sure we all know the answers, but what's your favorite sport to play and your favorite sport to watch?
um my favorite sport to play and to watch probably be basketball. I like the thought of being competitive and not only being competitive around others but being competitive with yourself because in the end like you want to get better every day and the thought of really getting yourself better to whether that be like condition train or like play pickup like that's really an accomplishment and a goal for your future too. And I feel like the thought of just competing against others and really just watching the greats in the WNBA or the NBA and learning from them and being able to take on from their game is really just, you know, being a player of the game and just studying like their abilities and strengths and weaknesses of the greats.
Yeah, for sure. Because I know, like you said, I'm pretty sure that you're a student of the game, like they say the student of the game. So you love basketball, like not just because you're good at it, but because it's like a real passion for you. So who are your favorite players? Who are your favorite basketball players? As a person, like with their character, like how they carry themselves, and just your favorite players to watch.
I personally love Chris Paul. Um, I don't know if anyone knows. I'm pretty sure you guys all know who Chris Paul is. He used to play for the. He still plays for the Thunder. Did play for the Clippers. Um, he was an original member of the Hornets. I remember from a very long time ago. Um, Chris Paul is just. I feel like he's an underrated player. He's not the tallest, but he definitely has the most heart. Can shoot the ball and can definitely pass the ball really well. And I think I can take a lot from him because as a point guard, you should be able to, know your teammates, know and have that court vision as a point guard. And I really enjoyed watching him as a little kid because I wanted to be able to pass like that. I wanted to be able to shoot like that. I wanted to get my teammates around me better. And I would say another great that I love to watch was Kobe Bryant. As
Who doesn't love
cliche,
Kobe? Come on now.
as cliche as that sounds, like like even though I would call him like a ball hog most of the time, like
Yup.
he was a great ball hog. Like I hate to say it, but he was a great ball hog. Like, and he also had a very good work ethic. Kobe was always in the gym training for countless amount of hours, and he's always one of those leaders that really I will always have respect for the game, and not just for the men's game, but for the women's game too. Like he's a very good idol and like a good prospect of the women's game, and I feel like he carries himself very well as a athlete and especially as a dad.
Oh yeah, because everyone, I mean, Kobe is girl dad. Everyone knows about girl
Yep.
dad. Kobe is that guy. But yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying because obviously Chris Paul, you guys kind of play very similarly. You guys love to get your teammates involved, make everyone better. And Kobe, I can definitely see it. I'm not calling you a ball hog because you can't be a ball hog and still
Yeah.
want to get your players better. But I could definitely see the work ethic because I don't know if you guys know, but Jess, she loves to play basketball or just anything about just sports in general. Like when I ask her, like she always asks me, like, Shane, you want to work out? Shane, you want to play a ball? Even though my knee is jacked up, she's like, Shane, you want to play ball? Every time. And so like even there's times where we're hanging out with like our homies or just hanging out with family, and Jess is like, I'm gonna go home. I gotta sleep early because I gotta practice. I got training in the morning. I'm like, damn, what the heck? But yeah, I definitely see it. So with that being said, you know, like how you do model your game after Chris Paul. I mean, obviously we see with the stats, with the achievements that you have. And like you said, Kobe, he's a big ambassador of WNBA. And we all know you love the WNBA. So who is your favorite team in the WNBA?
Man, I feel like there's a lot of greats in the WNBA, but I would say I gotta go with my LA squad, man, the Los Angeles Sparks. I would say that the most viewed player I watch on that team be Candace Parker. You can't go wrong with Candace
She don't play
Parker.
with them anymore. Do you know that?
Yeah, she doesn't, but back then when she was
Crazy.
playing with
Oh
them,
yeah. She's a
she was
beast.
definitely a goat. That's crazy, but yeah, I would say Los Angeles Sparks only because I loved watching Candace Parker play. Definitely made her teammates around her better. Definitely was a great role model. But yeah, isn't she like a sports commentator now, right?
Well, so she does that sometimes, but I know she's signed, like she does that for NBA TV, I think for TNT
Yeah.
as well. But I think she's also signed with I think Chicago with the
Oh,
Sky. I think I'm pretty sure.
okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she definitely signed with another team. She's not on the Sparks anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's crazy. So so I know that you said you love watching Candace Parker. So I don't know if she is your favorite player, but who is your favorite player in the WNBA?
I would say Sue Bird.
Sue
Sue
Bird?
Bird, yeah. Sue Bird.
Dang. I could see
Sue
that.
Bird. Yep. She's definitely not she's on the older side, but like being that vet of the Seattle Storm, I believe, um, she carries a lot in her role. I feel like she has to be that role model that you look up to, especially when you're like a younger player, like Jordan Canada, for example. Like Jordan Canada is a backup point guard to Sue Bird, and I feel like she looks up to Sue Bird a lot because she knows the game more, and like she has that IQ. Definitely is a player that gets her teammates better as well, but
Oh, for
she
sure.
definitely does a lot for her team in order to, get a win at the end. So
Yeah, and didn't they just win
they
in
did,
the
yes.
W? Yeah, her and Stewie, little Brianna Stewart.
Stewie, yes.
She's a
Brianna
beast,
Stewart.
dude.
Yeah,
I
she
think
is.
probably in the WNBA, she might be one of my favorite players. But I mean, I could see how you would pick Sue Bird to be your favorite player, but I thought you'd pick little Diana Taurasi, man.
Oh yeah,
Because
Diana too.
you played for Team Taurasi.
Yep.
So, given that you are a big fan of both the NBA and the WNBA, I just want to get your thoughts on, the gap in, I wouldn't say skill because they're both equally skilled in their own right. Obviously, you're, a woman, a young lady, a young woman. So, and we all know that you're better than all the guys that we play with. So, people don't understand that, the WNBA is, it's just as good as the NBA. People don't really understand that. But so what are your thoughts on, the gap in pay and in like the publicity? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I definitely feel like more people turn their attention towards the NBA because the gender role of men being paid more than women, like blah blah blah, whatever that is. But personally feel like the game of the NBA and the WNBA should be equally watched and just as praised, just as much, because like who cares if they're women, like I feel like they do the same thing as the NBA as opposed to the WNBA, just I think that gender role kind of separates the two organizations from,
Yeah.
the salary wage and all that stuff. But um, definitely IQ too. Like I feel like women's IQ and men's IQ completely different, but in regards to skill wise, obviously men are capable, like of doing more things, like they're more lengthier and all that different body type as opposed to women, like they kind of just have to work extra hard and kind of I feel like it's just different in a way. The game is played different as well. Like men play more fast paced too. And as
Yeah.
opposed to women, like they like to set things up, like get a good shot, as opposed to like men, like they just want to dunk the ball, they just want to shoot the ball. Like women is definitely, I feel like it's more organized as opposed to like men just pick up basketball. If that makes sense.
I get that because people, just the general, the public, the average fan, basketball fan, they all gravitate towards, highlights, whether it be dunks or, crazy layups or breaking ankles or, crazy threes. But if you just take dunks out of the equation, the WNBA, they have that too. They
Yeah.
have crazy shooters. They have, crazy shooters like you, great passers like you, ball handlers like you. So there's so much that's good about the WNBA that, it's just different. But I think I get what you're saying, how like kind of the IQ is different because the WNBA, since the guys in the NBA, they can do more. You have
Mhm.
athletes like you have crazy athletes like LeBron, you have, you know, Zion, you have Westbrook, who just get all the who are just crazy athletes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like for women, I'm not saying like, they're not as athletic, but they kind of have to rely more on their skill and their IQ
Yeah.
because they can't just do things so easily
Mhm.
as men can. So that's I mean I agree with you,
Yeah.
you know, because I mean shoot, the women's uh the college women's college basketball the tournament was just as exciting as the men's.
Yep. I agree
You know
with
what I
that.
mean?
Yep.
So, given the fact that, you went to you went to, to Bishop, which is in Torrance, you went to Fresno, all the way there in Fresno. And pretty much all of our family, my parents, your parents, my sister, me, and Jeremy, we all went to Carson for high school. So, did you feel any pressure, going to Bishop and Fresno just to play basketball, instead of going to Carson to play basketball? Because I'm pretty sure, you know, I don't know if this is true, but I don't if you thought that, oh, I have to play well for my friends and family because they know I'm going to these schools just for basketball, where I can easily go to like somewhere close by. So did you feel any pressure for that?
Um, yes, I definitely feel like wow, I'm really the odd one out just going to Bishop Montgomery. Like
Yeah,
that's crazy because I definitely was a kid from Carson and just kind of wanted to take a different route from like my family because all my mom went to Carson, my dad went to Carson, my brother went to Carson. Like you would think the youngest would go to Carson, but no. I don't know. I just kind of got that opportunity of playing for a private school and really just getting a lot more looks from a private school as opposed to like a public school. No, like shame to Carson or whatnot, but just kind of wanted to go that route, especially for basketball too, because I don't know if you know, but an old Storm coach, she used to coach at Bishop. So I was like, oh, like, why not go to Bishop? I actually like this coach. Like, she's a great coach, very well disciplined, um, great person as well. Yeah, definitely knew a lot about the game of basketball and, was a skill development coach and, was interested in me coming to Bishop. So I was like, all right, like, that
might as
sounds
well.
cool. Like, yeah, a private school, why not? So you just, I don't know, kind of had that opportunity of going that route. Of yeah, going to Bishop and really it's been a blessing going to Bishop, even though we wear uniform, but it's fine. Just kind of got used to that. But yeah, I just very blessed and having that opportunity of going to Bishop really just made me a better person too, maybe a better basketball player as well. But no regrets of making that decision of going to a private school as opposed to like going to a public school. So
Yeah, so you probably say that, even though, you didn't go the traditional route or the predicted route, you went, a way that would just benefit you personally as a person. So I get what you're saying, you got to take care of you
yeah.
because, I mean, who else is gonna? But so as we all know, you went to Bishop, which is pretty close by, even though it's not Carson, Torrance is not that far away.
Yeah.
So, you know, your family would always be there. Like, well, I don't know about Jeremy because, Jeremy's busy getting dainty or something else. But we all know your parents would be there. We all know grandma and grandpa would always go to your games. And sometimes, we would go there, my family, a bunch of our friends would go there to watch you. So what's it like to, always look in the crowd and always know that, you have at least someone, like one person rooting for you. Not just, that the team would win, but always rooting for you. Whether it be, not just in Bishop, but in in Fresno as well when you would play kind of APU or any of the schools that are close by. So what was it like to always have that constant support?
I definitely felt like, wow, a lot of people are watching me. Like, dang, I feel like some type of pressure on me. Like, dang, I really have to, like score a bunch of points or like do this, do that. But I feel like it was a thrill too, because, wow, like a lot of people really, like look up to me like as a, basketball player, as like I'm a good person as well. But
Yeah.
I think like I like that feeling of like knowing that I had a good supportive group in my
Hmm.
crowd and like in my circle as well, because really though, like the people that have been there for me the most is probably my dad, my mom, my grandparents, like my cousins, you, Kiana, Jeremy too. Like, I feel like having that um extra push from like you guys definitely drove me to like becoming a better player like throughout high school and whatnot. But I can confidently say that, like having that big crowd of like, getting cheered on from like my family and friends, like kind of just kept me going. And like it really like didn't let me doubt myself, like, why am I here? Like why am I playing? Like, kind of just drove me to be a better person and like be a better student of the game as well. But yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not because I'm pretty like. Do you remember when that one? I think it was a playoff game, but it was a packed like the whole gym
Oh
was
yeah,
packed,
yeah.
and then you made that one game winner that just bounced around the rim like 30 times,
Oh
and
yeah,
then we
yeah.
all just jumped up. You remember that?
I do
That was
remember that. It
crazy,
was,
dude.
yeah, that was definitely a crazy game because that was the game I remember. That was the game in order for us to be in the championship game. So that was the semifinals game. And
Oh,
I'm
okay.
pretty sure I was a freshman, dude. Like that's crazy.
Was it your
Like
freshman year?
it was my freshman year. Yeah.
Dang,
That was my freshman year
dude.
of high school and like I made the game winning buzzer beater. And that was crazy because, like the thrill of like the ball going in at the last second, like when you're about to lose and like the ball goes in, you like have this like thief of joy, like wow, like what the heck, and like the crowd goes crazy and
Yeah,
like oh my god, like that was definitely a moment I could never forget in my life.
that's probably like your best, like probably one of your best moments ever.
Yeah.
So, you know, you've been a student athlete pretty much your entire life, like with club or with travel ball, high school, college, pretty much your entire life. So, what has your experience been like being a student athlete for your entire life?
Man, I feel like it's definitely a whole game changer. Like in all honesty, like your whole life like has to be put on hold, if that makes
Mm.
sense.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
you just have to, like as a student athlete, you have to make a lot of sacrifices and you have to
for sure.
really manage your time in a way where you have to get your stuff done. Like for example, like you have to do your homework and like, you have to train, you have practice, you have to condition. Definitely like I've learned a lot as an individual. Definitely smacked me in the face a couple times too when I didn't get my stuff done. I felt defeated, but I feel like I liked being a student athlete because I was busy most of the time. Like,
Yeah.
I had to say no to like a boba hangout. Like I had to say
Yeah.
no to like,
And I don't know if you guys know, that's a big thing for just to say no to.
yep, 100%. Like I had to say no to, hanging out with my friend here. Like you have to
Hmm.
say no to some things in order for you to become successful in the next thing.
Yeah, I
But
get that.
just yeah, like being a student athlete, you have to know like your schedule, like this can like happen within the next couple hours. Like you have to, wake up, grind, train, and then you have like homework to do at night. And then,
Yep.
it's just a process of like really training and mentally getting yourself ready for like the next workout, the next thing that's coming in your life. But definitely a sacrifice, but it's a good sacrifice because, like I like being busy and like the thought of me like being super fatigued after a workout is just a good feeling because like, like
Hmm.
you push yourself to becoming better and being the best version of yourself the next day, or you're getting better for this next upcoming event or this next month, like you want to hit your goals.
Yeah, I get that because I mean, I've only experienced just like a smidge of what you had, being playing, volleyball in high school because you've been to some of my games.
Hmm.
But yeah, because you have to balance like, okay, I have class, I have
Yeah.
homework, I have like exams and tests to worry about, and then I
Mhm.
have practice, and then you have, games, of course, and road games too. So you have to
Yep.
like go super far to come back, and then it's already nighttime, and you still got an assignment that you got to turn in
Hmm.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, dude, it's the craziest thing. But even like, you know, professionals like what you said, Kobe and his work ethic, or even
Hmm.
like players like LeBron or Candace Parker, or
Yeah.
just all the great not just basketball players but just athletes in general, like even Olympics too.
Hmm.
Like they had to sacrifice so much just to be where they are. Because I'm pretty sure they've missed like a lot of big events, big family events,
Yep.
birthdays and stuff like that. So it's just a thing that you have to sacrifice
Yep.
so many things to be great.
Hmm.
So for some people, they can't hack it.
Yep.
Like me, I couldn't hack it. But for people, they're just born different. They're just built different. Like
Yep.
you, they can hack it.
Yeah. It's really a lot to like put on your plate. Like, if I'm being really honest, like you just have to sacrifice a lot, say no to a lot of things. Cause I don't know if you guys know me, but I like to say yes to a lot of things, but had to say no to a lot of people and like for certain reasons. And like I think if you have that understanding group of friends too, like they would understand like your lifestyle. Like
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like being surrounded by that group of people that really understand like what you do and like what your passion is and like how motivated you are and like being better at this sport, like really
Yeah,
just is a life and game changer too, because they know like why you said no to certain things, like they
yeah,
understand like, well, like it's like Jess doesn't want to hang out with me anymore, like
yeah,
no,
yeah,
it's not about that, like I'm trying to become the best version of myself and like practice my passion, which is basketball. And
yeah, for
I
sure.
feel like you just really have to be committed and driven in what you want to do in life and like what you're passionate about. So
Yeah, I feel that. And so, with the pandemic and everyone being, going to school on Zoom, did you and you like pretty much you kind of missed out on a lot of things from high school to college, with all of our friends back here at home. So do you feel like, with you staying home now and being, going to school on Zoom, do you feel like that helped you out kind of just rebuild relationships that you did have before?
I definitely feel like being online was definitely hard for me because
Oh yeah, school wise, yeah.
school wise, yes. Because like no one wants to be on a screen for like an hour and a half just listening to the professor like yak, like
Yeah.
no one wants to do that. But um I would say like this was kind of a blessing too, like
Yeah.
it's kind of like a smack in the face too, like dang, I'm not in person in class, like this sucks, don't really have that social connection with like people, like your friends that you made at like college, high school, and like I
Mhm.
don't know, that just kind of like made me sad to hear, because like I really won't be like I have to look at everyone on a screen, like that sucks. Like I don't want to be able to talk to you in a breakout room. I want to be able to talk to you in person.
Yeah,
But
for real.
yeah, I feel like being online just and being home now just allowed me to really take that opportunity of reaching out to like my loved ones and my friends too, like whether that be like through the phone, FaceTime, like but yeah, in-person meets like not meeting a lot of people just kind of like suck, because I know over
Yeah.
here back home in LA, like we have a close friend group of church friends, and like,
Yeah.
like it sucks not being able to like see them like face to face, because I don't know if you guys know, but all these Filipinos love their, they love hugging.
And
They
you're like,
love that.
sorry,
I know
no
you're just
way.
like 6 feet, but yeah, like I think just like missing that face to face interaction really just like allowed me to, keep ties and relationships with others, and like really just not taking that for granted, because you never know what's gonna happen. So it's like
Yeah, for
you
sure.
really just gotta check in on your loved ones and really just do and go the extra route of really, you know, checking up on people and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure. Because, you know, with us, we both moved away. We both left home to go to school somewhere else for college. So it's like we missed a lot, you know. So being back home, I feel like you said, it's a blessing in disguise
Yeah.
because we get to spend time with family. Like we get to like with you. Like I know your parents, especially your mom. You know, she missed you a lot, Jesse. But we all know this, but Jeremy definitely missed you. You
Yeah.
know, he definitely will never say it, but yeah, he did. But even
Mhm.
like we also get to spend more time like together, being
Yep.
you, because
Uh-huh.
with you being in Fresno, and me being all the way in Northridge, like there's not a lot of time spent together. And
Yeah.
also like now we get to spend more time with grandpa,
Yep.
which is the probably the most important thing because just a bunch of stuff. But
Yep.
yeah, so yeah, it is a blessing in disguise.
Mm.
So we all know about the famous high school basketball game or AAU game between Zion Williamson and Lamelo Ball. Have you seen it? You know what I'm talking about?
I've seen bits of it, yes.
Yeah. So they're like stars in the league right now,
Mm.
and you're pretty much the closest thing that we have to that we know of. And so what's it like playing in the AAU circuit? Like, is it like how different is it?
As opposed to college ball or high school?
Both in general.
Oh yeah, AAU was definitely a journey to remember, at least for me. So I started when I kind of just jumped AAU teams, but like that doesn't matter. Like whatever.
It's
I
fine.
ended
It's
up in a good
whatever.
program. Um, yeah, so I started when I was actually in the very third grade. I was in third grade when I started. Some of my friends started when they were like first grade. So third grade, I kind of started late. Whatever, cool. But
Started late, people. Third grade.
yeah, third grade started late. Yeah, AAU had a lot of practice, training, obviously, yes. Tournaments would be crazy, at least for me and my family.
Hmm.
I would have like back to back to back games. And I'm not even joking, because like I would have a game at 8 a.m. and then my next game would be like, oh, you have another game at 9. Like, go play in court 5. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah, like
But
give me a break, man.
yeah, no break, whatever. And then, 30-minute break in between here and there. But another game at 10:30, like, okay, like I'm kind of tired of playing 3 games in one day. But I think that grind of just really just playing 3 games in one day, waking up the next day, I have to play another game. Like, wow, that's crazy. But like I
Gotta do
think
it.
like, yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. But yeah, like that just kind of motivated me, and like really just being appreciative of like the game of basketball, really just not taking it for granted too. But yeah, AAU was definitely a crazy, but it was a fun experience too, because got into a good high school program. Cal Storm, shout out. Had to play for their high school program for a bit, and their youth club. Uh, it was a college viewed program too, so a lot of college coaches would go to our tournaments during our AAU circuit and whatnot.
Yeah.
Got a few looks from there. and then kind of had that dream of moving up as I got older, right? So my sophomore year and my eighth grade through sophomore year, I played for what's called our national team. And, as an eighth grader, like that's kind of crazy. Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
think that like I'm playing with like freshmen and sophomores. Like what the hell? I was literally like so still so young. And like I had a baby face. Like what the hell is this eighth grader playing on our team for? Like that's
Yeah.
crazy. But yeah, I had that blessing of going to a lot of college viewing tournaments too. My junior year, had that opportunity of playing for the top team called Team Tarasi, as Shane mentioned. Um, no, definitely gave me a lot of perspective on that. Had to my really shift my IQ level and like get my skills better too, because like that top team is not a joke. Like Team Tarasi is the real deal. Like I can
Facts.
confidently say that. And my coach pushed me to become better, like even though I was like literally the smallest girl on the team, like our tallest girl was like 6'3", 6'4", like that's
That's a
crazy.
giant dude, especially
Yeah, and
compared to us Filipinos. You're
yep,
a
you're
giant.
short. Yep, you're a giant. Like I was playing with a bunch of 6 footers. Like wow, that's like what the hell? Like that's crazy. But yeah, um, the AAU circuit was definitely a journey for me, but helped me become like a better basketball player and student of the game. Also allowed me to become a better person myself, better lady, better student. Really just grinding it out every single day of like going to practice, repeat, go to practice, school, practice, training, tournament. Like it's just crazy how like everything like was put into place. But yeah, the AAU circuit was definitely
It's
something I
nuts.
won't forget. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw, but the WNBA draft is just happened today. And
Yeah,
what's your name? Your girl, Ari
Ari,
McDonald. She
Ari
just got drafted
McDonald.
third overall, and she played right Cal Storm with you.
Yeah, she did. She didn't play with me, but I played
Oh,
against her, and like Ari is so tough. Like, oh my gosh, like I absolutely hated guarding Ari. And shout out Ari because she scored me every time. Like, damn, this girl is unguardable. Like, I really had to guard her every time. Like, can someone else guard her? Like, that's crazy. But like very proud of Ari, and like her work ethic's definitely different. She's just breeded different in general. But yeah, she's definitely someone I can confidently say I played against. Got some buckets on Ari, can't
hey,
lie.
that's all that matters. Come on now.
But other than that, she's definitely like, lockdown defender, also like tenacious scorer. Like that girl was crazy. Like she was like a hooper. So
Yeah, and if you guys don't know, she played for Arizona, and she played on that Arizona team that beat UConn and Paige Beckers,
yep.
and she clamped her up like crazy.
Yeah, she
So,
did.
dude, yeah. So, are you? I know she's tiny, but Are you guys the same height?
No, I feel like Aries a little
Is she
bit taller
taller?
than me.
How
Yeah,
tall is she?
she's like I'm gonna say like 5'4". Like she's like 5'4",
Five
yeah.
four. Dang,
But that girl has
dude,
heart.
she's a
Like
bucket.
she is definitely a bucket for sure. But Ari, like it doesn't matter. It's hard over height. Seriously though, like if you can
Facts,
bring it, like you can bring it, and like if you got game, you got it. Like it's either one or the other. You can't pick and choose.
facts. Because like how you said, you used to guard Airy,
Yeah,
and whenever we play ball, and we're not on the same team, which is the worst, I have to guard you, which we all know how that's gonna go. It's not like playing 21 years ago. It's definitely not like that. So it's tough. There's just different levels to it, man.
yep.
So I know you said that you played travel ball and you played, the AU, and you had to, play for national teams and all that stuff. So
Mhm.
what was your favorite place that you traveled to? And so yeah, like what is it like really in travel ball? Because we know that you played, so many different places. Like you played even out of state. You played in the East Coast. You played
Mhm.
Chicago, right?
Yeah.
In Georgia. So what's it like playing travel ball?
I would say my favorite place I went to, South Carolina. Even
South
though
Carolina.
it was musty as hell over there, like
Dude, that's
I
like that's redneck
enjoyed.
central.
Yeah, I know. Like I enjoyed playing in that gym. I'm not sure what the gym was called. It was a small like recreational center that had like four courts, right? Mind
Okay.
you, this was a very important viewing like tournament, right? Like
Yeah,
all the college coaches there were there. This was before like pre-COVID happened, right?
of
Um,
course.
yeah, so the very first time I went there, it was for the national team, right? I think I was in like eighth grade. And then the following year I went, right? And then there was just like four big courts, right? All a bunch of college coaches filling the rooms. They just walk around.
Dude.
Like there's like two ramps. They walk here and there between like the gyms and
Yeah.
whatnot. But like it was like filled. Like the bleachers were filled. Like you just see like coaches from the sideline too, like not on top, but on the bottom also. Like it's just
Yeah.
like the gym is filled, right? Like there's no place to walk. Like if you had to walk, like you would bump into someone. Like
Damn. So it's
woo,
just
like
like
yeah,
it's packed to
it's
the
packed
ceiling.
packed. But I think like it was very exciting because like the lights were on, like, and I don't know,
Yeah.
like this sounds like very cliche, but like when the lights are on, like that's when like, oh shit, like it's go time.
It's game time.
Yeah, it's go time. Like for example, like Friday night lights, like that's when everyone comes, like Friday night
Yeah.
lights, like let's go, it's game time. But yeah, the lights were on and whatnot. Bleachers are packed. A bunch of college coaches are watching you from the sideline up top. That was a great experience for me, honestly. Like I learned a lot as an eighth grader, like playing on the national team. And like I think the thrill of just hooping on the hardwood floor is just very exciting. And I like that competitive feeling of like, damn, I'm gonna eat you up. Like, like I'm gonna get buckets on your head. Like,
Facts.
like I think I love that like competitive spirit in me. Also in my teammates too. And like my coaches, my coaches hated freaking losing. Like if we lost, like it was just
The worst.
like downhill. Like damn, like my day is ruined. Basically,
Yeah.
like they took it to the heart, and like I feel like I really love that about my coaches too. Like they were super competitive. I also was super competitive too. Like even though I was in eighth grade, but I feel like that travel ball experience of just being with my teammates and like being around my coaches and having that big ass fucking crowd like
Yeah.
watching you is like, I don't know, that gives me like a thrill of like, wow, I really gotta like show out, like a bunch of like coaches are watching me. And like like I also like the audience of one, like everyone says that audience of one, God's watching me too,
Yeah.
but I think like the thought of just you know competing against other teams from like a bunch of other states, like
All over the country.
you got like a team from like um like North Carolina, obviously, like a team from Texas, you got a team from like all over, like
Yeah.
Indiana, like it's a lot, like
It's nuts.
it's no joke too.
Yeah. So mind you guys, like remember she said she was in 8th grade. So that's like what, 13 years old, 12 years old?
Something
And
like
she's
that, yeah.
playing in front of like a packed crowd full of college scouts as an 8th grader. So it's
Mhm.
just nuts.
Yeah.
So South Carolina is your favorite place.
Yeah, I would say South Carolina and Virginia. That was also like another
Mm,
big viewing tournament
yeah.
called Boo Williams. It was crazy packed too, but there was also more courts, I would say. But yeah, in uh, Boo Williams in Virginia, I actually got selected to be like on the all tournament team too. So like that was like super cool. But
Yeah.
obviously it was like the same like atmosphere, like not like there was more seats, but it was still packed. Like
Yeah.
it was also a workout facility. So like you have track runners running around the courts and whatnot, and the courts are just like in the middle, right? And you have
Yeah.
track people walking, running around the whole thing, and you
While the
got
game is
people
on.
while the game is like being
That's
played,
crazy.
and then you have bleachers here, bleachers there, like the game going on, like a bunch of whistles, like a bunch of coaches
Yeah.
yelling, like it's a lot.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
So is it like is there like a strict schedule, something like that? Is there like an itinerary that you have to follow? Like how long
Yes.
are you there?
It just depends. Like you can be playing like 2 games in one day. You could possibly be playing three. Like it just
Yeah.
depends like how good your record is, or like how far you advance. Like I remember one time I had to play 4 games in one day, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Bruh.
Like, and
That's
like my last game was like
crazy.
at 8:30 p.m. and I was like, it was 10. Like our game ended around 10, and then I had another game at like 8 in the morning. Like, wow, I really like. You can just be playing like countless amount of games, like you won't even know. Like, oh, you guys have another game in like 30 minutes. You
Yeah.
just have to really be like flexible and like, really respond to the call. Like, all right, let's go. Like, like not like, like, I don't want
Yeah.
to play
Like
again.
you
Like,
just gotta go.
yeah, you just gotta like suck it up. I would say like have that
Yeah.
mentality of like, all right, let's go. Like another team to beat on.
Hmm. Facts. So is it like so what would you rather do? Like would you rather travel to somewhere because you're playing basketball or travel somewhere just to like have a vacation or like just to relax?
Man, I don't know. Like I love relaxing too, but I also love basketball. I would say like travel to play basketball, really. Like I
Really?
freaking
Dang.
I love hoop. Like I love hoop so much. Like I would literally like
That's what's
die
up.
for hoop, but like like I really enjoy that like thrill of traveling with like not just like my
Teammates.
teammates, but like our whole program, dude. Like our
Oh,
whole
okay.
program traveled. Like we went to Virginia, we went to Phoenix, we went to South Carolina, Chicago. Like I think like traveling as a group, like damn, we were really mobbing. Like that's crazy.
Yeah,
But
that's dope.
yeah, I think like just the thrill of like being around people, being around my coaches too, like learning other things about like my teammates as well. Like that's like
Yeah.
super cool, and like you really get to know them better as a person. Like when you're not playing basketball, like just like hanging out in hotels, like wow, like you do
Yeah.
this, like dang, that's crazy. I do that too.
Yeah, just
Like
chilling.
yeah, like you're just chilling, really just like having a good time. Like you're low key kind of on vacation too when you're not playing basketball, if that makes sense. But then
That
like
makes sense. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
you're not on vacation as well, like when you're like stepping like on the court.
Yeah, I get what you're saying because like obviously not to your level, but when we played volleyball, we would go, our annual like Vegas trip and we would go play against, in tournaments against other teams. And like you said, you go to hotels and you get to like hang out with your homies and you get to see
Mhm.
like just different sides of them. And like you're like, oh shoot, you do this, or like,
Yeah.
damn, you do this. Like you kind of weird for that.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. Like me personally, I definitely go to vacation,
Yeah.
like just to relax. But hey, people are just built different.
Mhm.
So, on the, same topic of traveling and of being selected to, different teams, like you said, your alternate team. So
Mhm.
you were actually selected to the Filipino American, select team, the national team. So pretty much like what's it like being regarded as, one of the best female Filipino basketball players, not just, in the city or the state, but in the entire nation.
Um, dude, I was honestly like shocked, like, wow, they know my name? Like, dang, that's crazy, like you would have never thought that. But I actually know like one of the founders of like, the
Oh
Fil-Am
wow.
Nation, like, like I actually tried out for his program like a long time ago. He was affiliated with Edge Basketball, but he knew my name, but like, like I haven't been like going to his workouts and stuff like recently because like I was like back in Fresno, right?
Yeah.
But just kind of missed the opportunity of like really just not being able to try out for them because I was like, doing my thing over there at Fresno, which is cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a blessing, and really just like hopefully I get the opportunity to, possibly like try out for them again, like after I'm done with college. You
Yeah.
know, that'd be super cool if I played for like the Filipino national team. Like, wow, that's really a blessing. Just a lot of thought to really think about, like going all the way over there to like a whole nother like
Whole
country,
nother
like
country,
that's
dude.
yeah, like the language barrier too. But yeah, just being really blessed and um, you know having that opportunity of being selected and whatnot, being looked at, because like that is really a good feeling, like the thrill of like, wow, like they think like I'm
Like they
good,
notice me.
like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy. Yeah, but I definitely feel like that hasn't stopped me from like, you know, working harder and like really just
Yeah.
staying true to my training ethic and whatnot. Because I also thought of it as like, my spot or my selection, if that makes sense, could be taken like in
Yeah,
any
for sure.
um time granted. Like I just kind of thought of that as like, well, like, I'm still competing,
Motivation.
like motivation, like I'm still competing, like there's other people that want to take my spot too, like, like just kind of motivating me to like not really just like, like just to be on that list, but really just, like I want to get better, like
Yeah.
no one is safe, like if that makes sense. But
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I get you. That's crazy, dude. Cause like, just being like you imagine telling your younger self that like, hey, like telling yourself as a kid, like you're gonna be like in the future in like in 10 years or so, you're gonna be regarded as like one of the best female Filipino players in the entire nation. Like
mhm,
I would you ever believe that? You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's just so crazy.
that's crazy.
So like I mentioned earlier, like how you played basketball your entire life and you pretty much played sports, you've been an athlete your entire life. So, what are the biggest struggles you've ever had, you know, facing like ever had as an athlete, whether it be with basketball or just like with other sports in general?
I would say going into my freshman year of college, I was really struggling with like, time management. Like time management is a big thing. Like I
Yeah.
didn't know like I was really going to be grinding for like 5 hours of basketball, like cuz I didn't used to do that like for Bishop. Like we would just practice for like 2 hours and like,
Yeah.
hour weights, like that's it. But like
Which is
college
still crazy,
definitely,
but 5
yeah,
hours is nuts.
5 hours, right? Like you're putting all your time, your energy into the sport you love. Like you really have to be committed and dedicated in doing that. But I learned the hard way as a freshman, and I just kind of struggled with like making time for like my homework, like um, my exams, my assignments. Like I really just struggled with that, and like I also struggle with like, not being home, like not being able to like see my grandparents, my parents, like just missing that face-to-face interaction and just really not being able to like see them and like, like if something happened then like I'm not there, like that's just crazy. Like anything could happen like when you're away. Like, like when you're away
Yeah.
too, like for example, when you're at season, like, and you physically can't be there because you're at your dorm, like
Yeah.
it just sucks because like um you can't really just be uh that helping hand, that shoulder to rely on because like you're
Mhm.
so far away. But I also struggled with like making friends. Like I was so scared like that I wasn't going to make friends my freshman year, like oh my god, like I'm going to like Fresno. But like I never like experienced
Yeah.
like that, like going away that far, because I always wanted to be close to like my family, like
Yeah.
100%. Like, but the thought of like me trying to make friends with like other people was
Just
like
random people.
hard for me to do. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
because you don't know what they're gonna say. Like if you say
Yeah.
something weird, they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, like she's weird."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because you're just a girl from Carson. Like I'm like, did any of your teammates were they anywhere like near like anywhere? Do they live anywhere near here?
No, like they were
Yeah. So it's just
all
different.
local, and I remember my teammates were all local. Like my freshman year, some of them for were from NorCal too, and then some of them were like from out of state, like
Yeah. So
Germany, all
it's
that, England.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
it is
Cause like
crazy.
you just have to just because since you're that far, you just have to make friends. It's not
Hmm.
like, it's not like, oh, I know someone who goes here. It's like
Yeah.
literally like I'm just on my own.
Yep.
That's crazy. So, you know, what like what's your since like, you said you had struggles in your freshman year
Hmm.
and you had a lot of success in your college years. So what was your favorite, I guess what was your favorite year playing at Fresno and playing at Bishop?
I think my favorite year
Because I know in
playing at.
Fresno, you like last year you dropped, like how many points? Like 30 something points in that playoff game
Mhm.
to get your team to like the furthest they've ever been in school history. So I know that's a big moment, but like what's your favorite year?
I would say like, yeah, my junior year. My junior year was really fun. That was before pre-COVID hit. Like I think
Yeah, literally.
literally like in March. Like yeah, that was my very last game as a junior, and like you said, like I had a really good game that day, and like
Yeah.
I dropped like 30 against the team, but like that was super like exciting, like like, but like it was just like crazy that like COVID hit and like wow, like my season ended like that, like
I know, dude.
but I would say yeah, my junior year of college was probably one of my most memorable years too. I had a great group of teammates, uh great team culture as well, surrounded by a great coaching staff too. For Bishop, man, that's a lot. Oh, let me just go back. I would say like I think like between my freshman and senior year during my playoff games too. My senior
Interesting.
year, I hit a tough shot too. Like that was in my playoff
Yeah,
game. Like we were about to lose and I hit the game winner. Like it was crazy.
dude.
It literally rolled in and like that was game. And it
Wait,
was
what
just
when was the year that you so you shot a free throw and
mhm,
you made the first one, I think, and you missed the second one and you got the rebound and you put it back in. What year was that?
put it
You know what I'm
back
talking
in.
about?
Was that the game winner of my freshman year?
No, I don't was it
Oh,
that
I
year?
know
You
you.
know what I'm talking
I
about?
yes, I know. That was my sophomore year.
I
Yeah,
remember
that was my
that,
sophomore
dude.
year. Yeah, against Jay Sarah. Yeah, I think it was my
Crazy.
sophomore year. Yep.
So it's either between your freshman and senior year for high school?
Yeah, because I remember my senior year. I had made a game-winning three like towards the end of the game, and like we were like down by I think like one or like two, and it
Damn.
was like getting down to the gritty where like there was like probably I think there was like 20 something seconds left, and we had called the timeout, and like you drop a play like game winning play, like hold the ball, all that stuff, like situation stuff, hold the ball, get a good shot.
Yeah.
And I remember like I had gotten a pass from my teammate. One of my teammates sent me a back screen, and I literally flew to the corner. I hit a wide open shot, and it literally just rolled in. And like it was just crazy because I remember the crowd like jumping like super
Going
high. And so I'm like,
crazy.
yeah, like, let's go. Like, yeah, it was just like a crazy moment because we could have lost that game. I can't lie. Like, we
Yeah.
were due for a loss. Like, especially like when you like like win a few times in a row. Like the past couple years, and you get moved up a division. Like
Oh yeah,
that
yeah.
team is due for like a loss. And
Yeah.
I was like, wow, like this game is over. Like, hopefully I make this. Like, Oh my gosh, like I was praying too. Like I remember I was praying. I was like, please go in. Like, oh my god, I don't want to like cry like my last game of like my senior year. And then like it went in and I was like,
Yeah,
wow, like that's a good feeling too. Like, dang, let's like it's all God. Like
for real
seriously.
facts, dude. So you, so you already said that, like, you had like tons and tons of game winners. So would you say that you perform best when the lights are the brightest, when the bleachers are packed, and everyone's just like, the closest part of the game? Would you
Mhm.
say that's when you thrive?
Yeah, I feel like no, I obviously like there's more people coming to watch me. The lights are on, like, the gym is packed. It
Yeah,
just kind of wow, a lot of pressure is put on me, but like you gotta I feel like the best players do great under pressure, like you really just gotta take that in and like do your thing and play your game. And I feel like I thrive best when like a lot of people are like watching me and like, it's an
yeah,
important game. Like you either gotta win it or like you go home, like I kind of just take
yeah,
it as my last game type like mentality. Like I gotta give my all. I gotta do
yeah,
this. But I like that pressure, I would say.
yeah. Because there's some players, that are good like throughout the game, but when it comes down to crunch time, it's like, okay, now I know you're not that good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you know how the saying goes, they say pressure like it busts pipes or it
Yeah.
creates diamonds. I
Hmm.
mean, so some people they play really good, or some people they just play really bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, so given the fact that we both are in our last year of college, thank Lord Jesus Christ that we are almost done.
I know.
So so what are your plans after you graduate, your undergrad? Are you looking to continue playing ball after? Are you going to stay in the sports realm, whether it be coaching,
Mhm.
training, or use your kinesiology major to do physical therapy? Or are you just going to like, are you going to leave the sports world behind and just, say, okay, I'm done with this. I'm done with
Mhm.
playing sports. I'm on to something else. Or are you going to do, like grad school?
Yeah. So I plan to finish my education um in May. So I graduate May 8th. That's when I'm done with everything, right?
Done.
So that's very exciting, but it's very stressful because a bunch of teachers be really just put in
Be
assignments last
testing you.
minute, like, all right,
For
cool.
real, bro.
But yeah, so I'll be finishing my undergrad and getting my bachelor's in kines with emphasis in PE teaching.
Nice.
So I'll be getting my degree prayerfully and hopefully soon. But yeah, so with COVID going on and whatnot, I plan on continuing my education and getting my master's and possibly playing one more year, like of college basketball. Decided to move back home, really just wanted to be with my family and whatnot. And currently committed to Cal State Long Beach. So that's super exciting. Um, Very close to home, like probably like 15 minutes, but kind of made that decision with my parents, my family, like friends and whatnot. And um, actually talked to God about it too, because I was very stressful
Yeah,
in the beginning, like the recruiting process was definitely
it's
crazy
tough.
for me. It was tough too because like obviously like
You got to
um
start from back from square one.
mhm,
Start all over again with
yeah,
everything.
yep. The recruiting process was crazy because like each team that I reached out to, like their roster was full. So it was like,
Yeah,
disheartening to like get that email like saying like, "Oh, sorry, like we're done recruiting."
damn.
Like that was very like that made me super sad. Like I was like, wow, like I really wanted to go to like this school and like, like I can't, like I gotta move on. Like I gotta send out other emails to other coaches. But yeah, I feel like I made the right decision. Choosing Cal State Long Beach. Feel like it's a great program. Definitely great coaching staff as well. hopefully, like I'm able to make a difference and whatnot in their program, meet some great people on the team, and really just, building that program, and, allowing them to be at their best, like within the next year. So, just super excited to, be playing D1 basketball. Like, that's crazy. That was
Oh
my dream
dang.
since
Crazy,
day
dude.
one. Like, that, my dream since day one.
D1 inbound.
Be playing D1 basketball. Like, it's just like, I can't believe like it to be true, but God really made this possible for me. And,
Facts.
I really allowed my family to make that decision of, like, for financial wise too, like
Of
grad
course.
school is so freaking expensive. Like, uh, man, like,
Dumb
like
expensive.
God really made it possible for like me and my family to go to Cal State Long Beach. Super thankful and grateful for that opportunity to be playing one more year, because not a lot of people want to be playing 5 years of basketball. Like, like
Yeah.
that's crazy. Like, you would think like you'd be done playing, for 4 years, but um yeah, like super thankful for that opportunity to be up and going again. I'm super excited for the next journey in my life. So
Facts. That's dope. And D1, dude, that's
yeah.
crazy. So, dude, do you feel like, do you know any of their players or any of their
Um
staff?
yeah, I actually know. So the assistant coach of Cal State Long Beach, I used to play against his team all the time. And not gonna lie, they were pretty good, but we would give them a game. Like,
Yeah.
I remember, I think it was a very close game, but like I would get buckets on his team and like he'd be so mad. And like he really he's a good person. Like, he's actually this short Filipino guy.
Same height? I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
No, he's short Filipino guy. Very good guy. Has a very good personality as well. Knows about the game, about basketball. Yeah, he is actually the assistant coach at Cal State Long Beach. So, he kind of reached out to me and said like, "Oh, like we'd be welcome to have you here, and like, like I feel like you'd be a great fit." And I was like, "Oh wow!" Like, I would have
That's
never
dope.
thought like he would have reached out to me after high school. Like, that's
Yeah.
crazy that he's the like assistant coach there now. But yeah, I also had teammates on that team. They actually played Cal Storm with me, so
Oh,
I
okay.
you know I get to play with them for another year, so that'd be super exciting. And like, it's a little reunion again, so that'd be
I
kind of
know.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's dope that you get to stay home. And there's obviously but there's a bunch of people that we know, our friends at church that went to Cal State Long Beach.
Yeah.
So they can definitely like show you around. Have
Hmm.
you have you been to the campus yet?
I haven't been there yet, but
It's big,
hopefully,
dude.
yeah, hopefully I'm able to, get a little feel of the campus soon.
Yeah, I feel it. So when is there do you know when like the season's supposed to start or anything like that
Um, I don't think until like probably like until school
in the
starts up
fall?
again. Yeah, so probably like close to maybe like August, maybe I would say. But I think um I'm not sure when I'm able to work out with them, but I think as soon as I graduate, I believe I'm able to work out with them.
Are they taller too?
Yeah, probably they're probably like,
Oh, cause D1, yeah,
like
for sure.
yeah, like 6 footers and all that, like normal
Damn.
height, like,
Oh, for
but
basketball players, yeah.
yeah, like typical D1 height. So
Yeah. So, how are their point guards or their guards in general? Are they aight? Do you think you can take one of their spots?
I don't even know like how they are. I'm sure they're like good developmental guards, but in the end, like you got to compete for your spot. Like I hope, like I'm praying that like
You get
I
the
want to be
opportunity?
able to like you know play for them and like
Yeah.
actually not like sit the bench. Like I want to actually like get in there, see how like D1 basketball is like
Yeah, for sure.
really the
That's dope,
shift.
dude.
Yep.
So, do you like are you uh like do you have any plans like kind of after that? Like are you trying to do like are trying to go like the basketball route, like maybe
Mhm.
professional or anything like that, or you're trying to just stick to like something else like coaching or training?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not quite sure, but
Nothing yet.
yeah, I think one of the options is probably like I was talking about before, playing for the Philippine national team. Like,
Oh yeah, huh?
hopefully that's a route I can go to, or like staying here and like getting a coaching and teaching position at one of like the high schools. Maybe Bishop, who knows, or like
Head
being
coach Jess.
being a PE teacher at a middle school, and like still possibly staying around like the basketball like setting and
Yeah,
realm, and like still coaching. But I actually do like a little side job, but like like just do it for fun. But
yes,
yeah, so I actually do like the thought of me training other people, like
it's pretty
that
dope.
would be super cool. Like that's another route like I would go to also. But yeah, I feel like there's a lot of options, but like, only time can tell, and like only God knows that like plan for me. So
I feel it. That's dope. So what do you do like for your little side job?
yeah, so like um I just, like some of my friends' little sisters or brothers, like they just like, reach out to me saying like, "Oh, can you train me?" But I'm like, "You want me to train you?" Like what? Like I would just like take that as a joke, like you really want me to train you, but like,
Yeah,
I would just like, train other like kids that are like from the youth and whatnot, like just to train and get better, kind
yeah,
of just perfect their skill level and like, their development as a player. But yeah, like I enjoy doing that. Like I learn something new every day too. Like what the heck? Like
yeah.
I did yeah, it's cool.
That's dope. Because I know that like there's like obviously like as a great player, there's a lot of like legends that tried coaching. Like I
Hmm.
think Magic Johnson tried to coach an NBA team, but it didn't work out for him.
Yeah.
So is it tough that that you're like this like you have such high standards for yourself that you try to put it on the kids you're training, or is it like it's kind of easy to train them? You don't have to like put pressure on them.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's easier for me because like now that like I'm vocally telling them as opposed to like, like a player and coach's perspective, I feel like it's a little bit easier and like of really just breaking down the game of basketball, and like you really
Yeah.
have to like take it step by step by step, like
Yeah.
this, like you really have to like be specific in a way. But I feel like it's very easy. Sometimes it's hard too, because like
Yeah.
you have to really just like know how to talk to like them. Like for
Yeah.
example, like if you're training like a 15-year-old, you got to speak to them differently as opposed to like a 10-year-old, like, oh, right, left footwork when you go in for a layup, or like, like as opposed to like a 15-year-old, like go up, like take the contact, like you just
Yeah.
really have to like attention to detail, and like the specificities are like definitely different too.
Yeah. That's cool. That's dope that you're actually training kids.
Yeah.
So, so we're pretty much nearing the end of our interview or of our podcast. So, do you have any advice that you want to give to young girls or just like young Asians in general who
Hmm.
want to play sports but they feel like they can't because they feel physically inept, like they can't do it, or they won't get the publicity to show their skills because because they're girls, because
Hmm.
guys they often get more attention, and because they're Asian, so people don't really expect Asians to be that good at basketball. So what advice do you have to them? you know
I would say like if you feel discouraged or disheartened from like doing your thing and really just achieving your goals, I would just say like keep fighting and like keep going. Like you never know like where you'll end up. Like I know like coming from like 5'2" Asian, like like I would have never thought that I would have got a college offer. But like I feel like if you put in the work and like you train every day and like you really just put your mind to it, like it's a mentality, it's a mamba mentality for sure. Like you really got to be committed to like putting in that work every day, or like, taking that extra step of like, wow, like I'm not fatigued enough, like I need to go harder. Like I would just say like keep continuing on working on your craft, and really just don't be discouraged, because in the end, like there is a reward for you, and like you're doing it for the better of yourself, like not for the betterment of other people, but you're doing it for the betterment of yourself and being the best version of yourself too. But I would say like stick to the grind and really just put your mind to it too. And like there will be some days where you feel very low and very discouraged because like you saw something from the internet, or like, like your parents told you something. But I would just like do you and just really just block all that negativity out and block all the haters out too, because like in the end, like you're doing it for yourself, and like who cares about the other people around you? Like it's your journey. Like you gotta keep working, you gotta keep grinding out there, and just really like you gotta do it for you. Like, and you can't be doing it for other people, like, because in the end, like they're not gonna be like dribbling a ball for you. Like you have to be
Facts.
dribbling that ball, and like you have to be shooting that ball. But in the end, like just keep grinding it out. Like keep being on that, that student athlete grind of just wake up, class, practice, like, like training. Like you just got to put your mind to it. And I feel like if you do, like the results will show. And like, um, your future is definitely rewarding, and there's definitely a great future ahead for you if you just continuously and constantly put in that work every single day. Like just take it as a no days off type, like literally no days off. And like you just, I don't know, I feel like you just got to put your mind to it.
Facts. I feel it. So thank you for this interview, Jess. And thank you for being on this podcast. I know it's kind of tough talking for this long, but yeah, we did it. So thank you for joining the podcast. Thank you guys for listening and watching this podcast. Make sure you guys uh listen and watch more on my YouTube channel or on Spotify to listen to more audio podcasts. And also check out Jess. She got a bunch of highlights out there, you know, because if you don't hop on the bandwagon right now, you're definitely gonna miss your opportunity. So thank you guys for listening and watching, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.
Peace.